this isn't just another media box. This is the most powerful player I've ever tested. It costs $1,299, weighs about 20 pounds, it has a Toroidal Transformer, Dolby Vision, dual hard bay drives, and outputs full 8K HDR 60 frames per second. And yet, nobody is talking about it. Today, I'll show you why the Revolution PlayerPro 8K is built for people who don't stream, they collect. Let's start with what you actually get inside the box. First thing you'll see is a box on top. And oh, it's packed. Inside, you'll get a premium backlit remote. And I believe this is both Bluetooth and IR. A certified HDMI 2.1 cable that supports full 8K HDR, 2 Wi-Fi antennas and 1 RF antenna. And we've got 4 power cables for EU, United States, UK, and even Australia. I see we've got an IR extender and even a rack mount kit if you want to install it in your AV cabinet. And we've got the batteries included, so everything here feels solid. Even the remote has a nice click to it. So let's put this all back. We'll get back to this later. Now for the main event, we've got the QR code. Love that they have this because manuals get constantly updated as softwares also get updated. So they will always have an updated version online. So the main event, of course, is the PlayerPro 8K itself. And whoa, this unit, it's big. Let me just try and take this out carefully, which is a bit difficult. So I'm just gonna put it on the ground quickly. There we go, that's a bit easier. Damn, this is heavy. It's about 10 kilos, close to 20 pounds. And so let's truly have to be careful unpacking this machine. All right, let's check the front panel. Damn, the design is minimalistic and premium. You've got a brushed aluminium front panel, LED time display, USB port, power button, and a concealed door that hides the dual HD trays. How cool is this? And this doesn't look like a media player. It looks like it belongs in a high-end hi-fi stack. And that's exactly what this is. So the front is beautifully made, beautifully finished. We've got that sticker right here. I'll leave that on for now because I just like how it looks. The metallic finish is beautiful, as you can see, and it honestly feels heavy. And on the back, oh damn, that's heavy. Damn, I really find it amazing how heavy this is. So here it even gets better. You'll find a HDMI 2.1A with 8K HDR 60 frames per second, 3 USB ports, 3.0, coaxial, optical, and RCA audio out, Gigabyte Ethernet, wide range IR input, the Wi-Fi antenna ports, the RF antenna port, the power input, and a true power off switch. And power is delivered through a massive 81 watts Toroidal Transformer, not a noisy wall adapter. And it's paired with Toshiba regulators, which is designed for signal purity and clean voltage. Now let's talk about how fast this thing is. Inside the PlayerPro 8K is a special computer chip called the Amlogic S928XK. And it even has a smart helper called NPU, which uses AI to make pictures and videos look better. It comes with 8 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage. And for graphics, it uses something called the Mali G57 that helps it play 8K at 60 frames per second with no lag, no freezing, and even super high quality movies at 300 megabytes per second. Now let's talk about something you normally never hear about, the power. Most players use small cheap power parts that are noisy and a little messy. But inside the PlayerPro 8K is a Toroidal Transformer and it's big. But what does that mean? Think of it like this. Most players drink power from a straw. This one drinks from a fire hose, but with perfect control. A Toroidal Transformer gives your player clean power without the buzzing or interference that can mess with sound or picture. So basically your movies have deeper blacks, your audio has less hiss, and everything just looks and sounds better. That's why serious audio systems use this kind of transformer, and that's why you're getting it for this price. And it's also paired with top quality parts from brands like Toshiba, which helps keep everything running cool and stable, even during long movie nights. Now, there's a tiny part inside the PlayerPro 8K that most people have never heard about, but it does make a huge difference. It's called a TCXO Clock. It sounds fancy, but what it really does is act like a super precise timekeeper for your movies and music. Why does that matter? Well, imagine you're watching a movie and someone is talking, but their lips move slightly out of sync with the sound. And that's annoying. That usually happens when the audio and the videos aren't perfectly timed. And this TCXO clock fixes that. It keeps everything locked in down to the tiniest milliseconds. So when someone speaks, you hear their voice exactly when their mouth moves. It also helps reduce tiny glitches like jitter and delay, especially if you're using high-end speakers or a projector. Basically, it makes everything feel smoother and more real, and it works in the background quietly, doing its job every second your movie is playing. Now let's talk about the software that makes this whole thing feel magical. The PlayerPro 8K runs on a system called RVideo. Think of it like your own personal movie librarian, but way faster, smarter, and cooler. You just load in your movies or TV show files, whether they're on a hard drive, USB, or network storage box, and RVideo scans them automatically. It'll find all the names, the trailers, the actors, the cover art, the background, even the release years and ratings, just like Netflix, but even better. It also adds cool top banners like Director's Cut, Bonus Disc, or even Concert Edition, so you can easily tell what's what. And you can filter by genre, sort by rating, see only movies with a certain actor. Yep, it does that also. But the best part, RVideo supports everything. Full Blu-ray disc menus, 4K Ultra HD menus, ISO files, MKVs, 3D movies in side-by-side and top-bottom formats, and even playlists with mixed video formats. It handles them all, plays them back smoothly, and organizes them beautifully. No lag, no stuttering, and definitely no file not supported errors. And most importantly, it just works, and it makes your entire movie collection feel like a real cinema. Alright, now it's time we hook this bad boy up and show you what it actually can do. I'm gonna walk through the RVideo software, add my NAS, the movie files, show you the artwork and how it plays everything overall, and give you my final thoughts. Overall, it has all the connections you need for your setup, and one final note is that it has all the text upside down also, so you can look from upside down and you'll see the texts, but you'll also have it underneath. So that's pretty cool, especially if you have it in a rack somewhere. We've got a firmware upgrade instantly. Let's launch the upgrade. Bada bing, bada boom. So the two trays we've got here, you can each technically put 32 terabytes. That's a combined storage of 64 terabytes you can put in here. And you can make it act like a NAS. You can basically play from other devices the files in it. So that's called like a semi-NAS, something like that. Okay, fully loaded in. This is our home menu. If we go to the right, you can see a few options: setup, video, applications, explorer. So this comes with a 2-in-1 dual software, Linux-based and Android-based. You can actually get the Google Play Store in here if you want, and just click on here and it will install the Google Play Store. You've got Android TV, you can enable it. So you can switch between Linux and Android TV, so that's pretty cool. You've got Kodi, you've got your own apps, you can get all the streaming apps if you want, but this is not that. This is not why you're buying a PlayerPro 8K. You have a huge collection of Blu-ray disc files lying around. You can rip them and you can play them through here. The quality on this is much better than you will see on a streaming service as Netflix or HBO or whatever. They are all compressed. This is the true quality you'll find right here. And that's why someone would get a PlayerPro 8K, not for these streaming apps that you can install on them. But it's nice to have the option. A great note right away, I would have loved to see Google TV on this. That would have had more value to me. But of course, it also has its limitations. I guess Android TV is the most easiest. So let's continue. We'll find the Explorer right here. So you can see your built-in memory, see what files you have here, network browser. And here we've got the setup. You can change all the settings you want and how everything works. So this is our setup currently. And I'm just gonna walk you quickly through all the settings that you can change, just for anyone that's a bit interested in knowing that before purchasing it. For me, I'll keep it as it is for now. I might change it later when I switch over to my 4K HDR TV. But for now, I'll leave everything here. But as you can see, you can customize anything you want, set the frame rates, how you want the device to act. Yeah, you can change a lot of things. And that's truly where R-Volution sets it apart from other media players like the NVIDIA Shield. You can customize anything you want and you have the freedom to do so. So that's basically it. And the thing that you're going to use the most here is the video software, the R-Video right here. Here you can see my current collection. It's already all there. So this is how R-Video looks like. Pretty, isn't it? We've got multiple collections right here. The Batman collection. Here we can see 3 versions because in my previous video I did a review on the R-Volution NAS with the Blu-ray disc rip. So it has an integrated rip drive. And all you do is you put in a disc and it rips it automatically, saves it to the NAS and puts it in your collection of R-Video with all its artwork and banners. So it's a pretty expensive device. It's about $3,000, but with the function it has, it's a true plug-and-play Blu-ray ripper. It's pretty amazing. If you have the funds for it, why not? All right, let's press play and see what happens. Right away, this doesn't start just the movie like a normal file player. If it's a Blu-ray disc or a 4K disc, you actually get the full menu. And that's super cool because you can choose director's cut or other versions. And here's what's really cool. It supports something called seamless branching. That means when you choose a version of the movie like director's cut, it plays straight through without any pauses or glitches. Most players mess this up, but this one nails it. And if you don't care about menus, you can also just skip and straight away go into the movie. No trailers, no warnings, no fluff. It's a smooth, fast transition and feels like a real cinema setup. Except you control everything. And now the movie's playing and this is where you really start to notice the difference. First thing, if your TV supports it, you'll see a Dolby Vision or a HDR10 Plus pop up in the corner. That means you're getting the absolute best color, brightness, and contrast possible. And what's amazing is how clean and sharp everything looks, even when the camera pans quickly or there's a fast fight scene. There's no stutter, no weird blurs, and no dropped frames. That's all thanks to something called auto frame switching. See, most cheap players force everything to 60 frames per second. But this one plays the movie at the exact original frame rate. Like 23.976 frames per second is set for Blu-ray discs. So it feels like what the director saw in the actual editing room. Everything stays smooth and natural, not too fast, not too choppy. Now if you're watching on a big OLED TV or projector, you'll really notice the extra detail. You'll see shadows in the corners, light reflecting off surfaces, and tiny facial details that most streaming services just blur away. It feels like watching a real disc that never got compressed. I mean, just look at the shot right here. You can pause it and you'll still see textures on the wall. Words in the background, even reflections in the eyes. And here's something I haven't shown you yet. During playback, you can press a button and it will open a super advanced option menu. You can switch between internal or external subtitles, change the font style, the size, even move them up or down on the screen. You can also jump to different audio tracks or turn on multi-languages subtitles without going back to the main menu. You can also scroll through your movie, but if you want, you can also jump to different chapters. So there's even a chapter list. And if you forgot how good this file was, there's an info button that shows everything. The title, resolution, HDR format, audio type, codec, subtitle options, all before you even hit stop. It's a seriously powerful media player, but somehow it stays easy to use. Okay, let's talk about the sound, because this isn't just video that looks great. When you play a movie with Dolby Atmos or DTS:X, the PlayerPro 8K doesn't just decode it, it plays it exactly how it was meant to be heard. So if you've got yourself a proper surround setup, you'll hear sounds moving around the room, above you and even behind you, like raindrops falling from the ceiling, helicopters flying overhead, or voices whispering behind your shoulder. And the cool thing is, it supports full 11.1.8 channels. It's super awesome if your system can handle this. But even if you just got a soundbar or a stereo setup, it can downmix the sound perfectly, so you'll still hear everything clearly. The audio is always in sync with the video. No lag, no echo, no weird delays. And all this is possible because of two things. Like I mentioned before, the TCXO Clock that keeps everything perfectly timed. And two, it supports pretty much every format you can throw at it. Atmos, DTS:X, True HD, LPCM, FLAC, DSD, and even old school MP3s if you want. So all this is possible with the PlayerPro 8K, but here's something super cool. You can now mark favorite scenes from any movie or concert and save them for later, like bookmarks. So if there's a fight scene you love, you absolutely love, and you just want to have it somewhere so you can quickly watch that scene again, you can jump to it instantly. And get this, the PlayerPro can also show you favorite scenes made by other users, thanks to the R-Volution community. It's like getting director's pick from other movie lovers like you. Alright, let's talk about storage. Underneath the player, there's a hidden door that supports 2 hard drive bays. And you can put each up to 32 terabytes. These are not available yet, but as soon as they do, you can actually put 64 terabytes into this. And that's about 2,500 Blu-ray movies. That's insane that you can just have saved locally. And of course, if that gets full, you can use the USB drives or your NAS. That's what I'm doing. I'm currently using a NAS, but all that is possible. 64 terabytes just in here. And that's just insane to me. Now going back to the R video, on the home screen, you can filter anything you want. And by the way, it plays literally every file you throw at it. Now, when you scroll through your collection and stop on a movie, just wait a few seconds, boom, the background comes alive. You'll see a full animated backdrop that matches the movie. And then you'll also hear it. The trailer starts playing sound or music. It's like standing in front of a movie poster that suddenly turns into a full preview. I do wish that the animation in the trailer would play instantly instead of waiting a few seconds. But I believe it loads from the cloud first. I'm not sure, that's why there's a tiny delay. Which brings me to a super important point. You do not need internet to use our video. I know a lot of people commented on my last video saying, oh, I don't want to go with R-Volution because you need to have an internet connection. But that's not entirely true. Right in the settings, you can actually choose offline mode. And the player will create a full local backup. All your covers, backdrops, banners, even the trailers, they will be stored locally on the hard drive. That means even if your Wi-Fi or Ethernet is down, or if you're using the player in a cabin or in a place without internet, your whole movie collection still looks and feels amazing. It's smart, and it proves that our video is way more flexible than people think. So I actually tested the offline mode and I unplugged the Ethernet cable, no Wi-Fi, and it all works smoothly. I love this function. Alright, now let's talk about how our video helps you actually find your movies. If you're like me and you've got hundreds of titles, digging through everything can be a pain unless you have tools to make it easy. And our video gives you a ton of filters. You can sort by genre, release year, and more. There's a sidebar with a lot of quick filters that you can choose from. But my favorite thing is the search bar. Just type in any actor's name, like Tom Cruise, and it'll instantly show you every movie he's in from your collection. I would have loved a remote app to type in instead of using the remote. Hopefully something for in the future. And our video also lets you create custom groups. So if you want to make a section just for your Christmas movies, or one for your top movies that you like, you can do that. Or your top 3 sci-fi movies, and it'll show them with banners and matching artwork, and you can actually customize that to however you want. It's like organizing your own personal Netflix, but with way more control and no monthly fee, of course. And the best part, everything happens super fast. No lag, no loading wheel. Alright, so I saw something recently that I thought was really cool, especially if you got yourself a home cinema room or even just a nice home theater setup. It's called Digital Movie Board, and it actually works with the R-Volution player. And imagine this, you're about to watch a movie and it's outside your cinema room, and there's a digital screen that tells you exactly what's currently playing or what's gonna play, like a real theater poster board. And it's pretty awesome. And I was thinking, oh, this is awesome because I can have my monitor or one of my monitors on it in front of the room. And then I was thinking, oh yeah, I don't even got a cinema room. It's definitely not gonna happen. But getting back to the real life, you can display the poster movie, the title, the format. Now at first I thought this is perfect, you know, for anyone that can do it, just hook it up. It works with the R-Volution player, as you can see right here. But it turns out it's not that simple. From what I saw on their site, it looks like they want you to buy their monitor, which is preloaded with the system, and it's not exactly cheap, as you can see. But then I also noticed something interesting, that they also just sell the device kind of like a box you connect to your own monitor. And at first I thought $75, but when I click add the card, it actually says save $75. It costs about this. But honestly, I still need to do some research on that part. I'm not 100% sure how it works, whether you can build your own setup or you're locked into theirs. But either way, it's such a cool idea, especially, if you're able to buy these kind of devices and the NAS, you perhaps also got a cinema room. I guess this won't be such a problem either, but it's out of my budget. But the fact that this can work with the Revolution is just great. So here's what it all comes down to, my final opinion. If you're someone who lives for streaming and you love watching stuff on Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, all of that, then this probably isn't for you. But if you're someone who collects movies, if you rip your Blu-rays, if you're running a local server or NAS, and you care about perfect playback, then the PlayerPro 8K is a dream machine. It's not cheap, but for the price $12.99, you're getting reference quality video output, the best audio experience I've heard on a media player, powerful internals, proper power delivery, unmatched format support, and honestly, a better user interface than anything else I've tested. Now, this is my personal favorite setup, and I don't say that lightly. It's heavy, it's expensive, but I absolutely love it. Now, do I have a full cinema room? Not even close. I live in a small apartment, but I'm grateful for my setup. But yeah, part of me always wonders, is this player meant for a space like mine? And the truth is, this thing really belongs in a dedicated home theater. Somewhere with a projector, proper surround sound, dim lights, that's where it shines the most. But even in my living room, I still enjoy it every single day. So overall, yes, I love the PlayerPro 8K. And if you're even the tiniest bit intrigued after watching this, I'll leave a link down below so you can check it out for yourself. Now, I've tested quite a few of the Revolution players. If this one feels too expensive for you, don't worry. There are cheaper models like the Player One or the Player Mini. I'll link those reviews in the description too. Now, I just want to be super clear though. This is not an Nvidia Shield alternative. It's something completely different. This is a reference grade collector's tool made for people who care about picture perfect playback. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you've enjoyed it, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.